Hello, 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 everyone. This is Mrs. Diamato, and I am showing you today's lesson, which is to combine reading strategies to deepen our understanding. This is going to be where we really get to the synthesize stage of our reading strategies. We've learned these several different reading strategies in our credit recovery course, but ultimately, what we want to do is use these strategies together. We want to apply multiple strategies in order to enhance our comprehension. And so that's what we're going to be practicing today. Our goal today is going to be to review all of our reading strategies that we've discussed during credit recovery. We want to reflect on their use, and ultimately we want to apply multiple strategies to a single new text. Here's a quick review of the strategies we've practiced so far. First, we worked on monitoring our comprehension. We worked on the read, stop, retell, and either reread or read on strategy. And we used Post-its to annotate with that. We talked about making connections, text to self, text to text, or text to world. And we talked about how to use our Post-it note annotations to do those. We talked about summaries using the somebody wanted but so then method and how to use Post-it notes on those. We talked about how to ask and answer questions and how we can use Post-it notes to not only make predictions about what's going to happen in a text, but also to begin to annotate our questions and answers. And finally, we talked about making inferences, where we use evidence to infer meaning that goes beyond the text, and how we can annotate those inferences with a Post-it note. So with all of these good strategies in our head, what I really want us to understand is that when you use multiple strategies, you are getting more tools to help you understand a text. So I want us to think about it like this. We are home builders. We are going to build a beautiful new home. We don't just use one tool. We use multiple tools to build that home. And in the same way, when we're approaching a beautiful new text, it really doesn't make sense to use just one strategy. We want to use multiple strategies together. Sometimes we'll need a wrench. Sometimes we'll need a ruler. Sometimes we'll need a hammer. Sometimes whatever that guy is. There's multiple strategies and they each have different appropriate places as we're doing our reading. And knowing how to use all of these strategies as we read, not just one at a time, but all together, can help us become a stronger reader. Now, this might seem really silly, but I want us to understand why this is important. Why does it matter that we can use multiple strategies to understand a text? Well, as we all know, texts are complicated. Some parts of a text might be harder to understand because of confusing ideas or tough words or unclear details. So one of these lovely strategies might be helpful for one part of a text, but another strategy might be helpful for another part of a text. And using them together in tandem can help a text be less complicated. Also, when we use multiple strategies together, it helps it helps us think deeper about our text. When we use more than one of these strategies, it really helps us dig, get it, here's the dig into what's going on in the text. For example, you might want to summarize to understand the big picture, but then make inferences to figure out the deeper meaning behind a character. Using those multiple strategies together helps you get deeper. It also makes you more flexible. You want to be able to read all kinds of texts, poetry, stories, articles, and all of them require different ways of thinking. So combining the strategies helps us be able to handle whatever kind of genre we're presented with. Also, it helps with our memory when we summarize, when we make connections, when we ask questions, and we do those things all at the same time, we're more likely to remember what we've read. So we combine in order to help make the text stick to our brain. And above and beyond all that, that's just how good reading works. Strong readers know how to switch between strategies depending on what they need. So I want you to be able to practice doing this because it'll help you improve your reading for college work, for employment, and even just when you decide to read for fun. And more than that, this is a good way to keep yourself engaged. Making those annotations, using lots of different strategies, it helps you stay actively involved in what you're reading. Reading is not always the most fascinating thing in the world, so the less boring we can make it, the better, and the more we'll be able to stay focused. So we now know why it's important to be able to use not just one strategy at a time, but multiple strategies. I'm going to ask you to do a quick assignment next, or not a quick assignment, but an assignment next. I want you to find your folder. In your folder, you're going to see the copy of your next text. And I want you to get your Post-it notes out, either the ones you have or you're welcome to borrow from me if you need to. Please read the text carefully. And as you read, I want you to make at least 9 annotations on the Post-it notes. You have to use at least 3 different strategies as you read. 3 annotations of each chosen strategy for a total of 9 annotations. What I mean by 3 different strategies is I want you to choose 3 strategies we've used, whether it's making connections, making inferences, and asking and answering questions. And for each of those strategies, you would use 3 annotations. So 3 questions, 3 connections, and 3 inferences. Or maybe it's 3 summaries and whatever combination of those strategies you want to, but you have to choose at least 3 different strategies and have 3 annotations of each for a total of 9. Put all the Post-it notes on the text in appropriate places and submit that text to me. The video is going to stop here, but please do not, but don't move on with the Nearpod just yet. I want you to do the text practice first, then you're going to come back to the Nearpod to answer a couple of reflection questions, okay? So video will stop here. Go grab your folder and do the story work, then come back to the Nearpod when you're done. Thank you.